Okay, this reading is for Pressy, and I'm going to use the Chinese tarot deck. It's a lovely deck, very colorful. The images are just beautiful artwork. Kind of a small deck, so it fits really good in my hand, and it's very receptive too. So you've actually asked me quite a few questions, Pressy. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards and see what we can come up with for you. I haven't used these very often, so they're still pretty stiff. This is the second one of these decks I've owned. So I'm going to do a 10-card reading for you, but the spread will be a little bit different since we're answering questions rather than anything else. I will use this first card to represent you, and that is the Three of Staffs. Some of the questions you have are basically relationship related, so I'm going to ask a couple of questions first about the relationship. You wanted to know if this was going anywhere, if he is still interested or committed to you, basically. You've noticed some changes in him, and you're wondering if this is going to last, or if maybe there'll be somebody else in your future that you will have a family with. So let's ask about him. Where is he at right now, and why the changes? This is an upside down Queen of Cups. So it's Queen of Cups reversed. Next question I'm going to ask is, what is he really saying to you? What is it that he's saying, or what is it that he wants? And that is the Five of Coins. You also asked me a couple of questions about a family business venture and whether or not that would be successful for you, if you should continue in that, if you'll be financially successful. So I'm going to ask a question here about the family business venture. Is this something that you really should follow? I believe it's with a relative, and the card that we get for that one is the Magician. That is a major arcana card, so it does have some significance. I'm going to ask now if following this will make you financially stable, will make you successful. And that's the Confucius card. Actually, the Confucius card is judgment in normal tarots. This is not, I'm not saying this isn't a normal tarot deck, but some of the cards have been changed a little bit. So this is actually the Judgment card, if you were to look at Rider-Waite, for instance. If you are financially successful, you wanted to know if this would lead to a vacation back to your original country, where you came here from. And so I'm going to ask that, and what we get is the reversed Sun. Again, that's another major arcana card. So that is significant. I do see some significance here, particularly in the questions you have about this business venture that you're going to get into and your financial success doing this. So will it be near future if you do return to the country of your origin? And what I get is a 6, and this is the Six of Wands. is this career change going to be successful for you? And that would be in the long term, not just for the near future where the start is, but will you grow with it? Will this be a business that you'll remain in? And that is the Five of Cups. Okay, I'm going to cross you, the Three of Wands, which represent you. I'm going to cross you with a card that's your real main concern right now. This is what's top on your mind, why you've come to me and asked for a reading. And that's the Ace of Coins. Basically, it's a financial card. So we'll just cross that right there. I have an outcome card for you, but I'm going to set it down and not turn it over until after we've taken a look at what all of these cards mean for you, what's revealed about these choices that you're making. So we'll set that one there and we'll take a look at that when we're all done. Okay. The card that represents you, which is the Three of Wands, or staffs, however you want to call it. Staffs are like a growth card. It's energy, it's the strength in your life, the power that you put into things that you do. And the three, which talks about you, is like a realization of your hopes. It means basically that the things that you want, the things that you want to pursue, will come to you because you put the effort in, you do your very best, people know that about you. Whatever it is that you've started, you're very successful at. The Three of Wands also kind of tells me a little bit about your preferences, the things that you really enjoy. And it relates to health, or living in a healthy lifestyle, taking the time to enjoy the natural properties of the earth, the healing of the earth, rather than getting involved in what a lot of people do nowadays, which is living on chemicals. So you, and I think you do actually have kind of a natural healing ability in you because you have a deep-seated belief. It probably comes somewhere from your past, where you grew up, which would be Eastern, or at least that's the feeling that I got. And one of the reasons why I chose this card, I wouldn't say China. China is because I like these cards, but I would say, somewhere in that area, probably southern of China, Philippines, somewhere in that area. And so that's a natural thing for you. That's the natural way of life where you come from, and you learned it before you came here. Since you said that you have another home away from here, and I feel like you've probably been here for quite some time, home is still in your heart. Home is still where you feel the pull, the need to be. You miss it greatly. I suspect that you came here for probably education, that sort of thing. Maybe you were a international type student, or maybe you just came here because the kind of education that you were looking for was here, and not where you came from directly, or it was a better school. So that's kind of your roots and where your heart lies as far as being from somewhere else, more Eastern. And when I want to look at this question here about your relationship with this individual and whether or not there's a reason for changes in him, he has a Queen of Cups reversed. Cups, of course, is love. and happiness, that sort of thing. And a reversed queen is like he's inconsistent. And I hate to even say this, but maybe there's a little bit of tendency towards being an immoral person. And that might be directly related to relationships, because this is a love card rather than the things he does in life. He may be a changeable person, somebody who can be devoted for a time and then change. I'm not saying he's a bad person, I'm just saying that is part of who I think he probably is, and why he may be at this point with you, in that he's changeable. There may not have been a full commitment as you had anticipated. So let's let that sit for a moment and look at this next coin, which is the Five of Coins. You are wondering, where he is as far as thinking about you, which is setting you aside at this time, and whether or not these changes in him mean that there'll be any future for you. The Five of Coins. Coins is a financial card. It typically means things like wealth, or at least material gain. And the Five is like somebody who may be heading towards being lonely, okay? And that's because of poor choices that he has made. He may have done this in the past to someone else. Not that it's an intentional thing, but he gets to a point to where all of a sudden he puts up a bit of a block and says, I'm just not sure, and he just wants to set it aside. Perhaps to think about it, perhaps to find a way to dissolve the relationship. This has happened before with him, so if you know anything about his past, you can probably relate that to where you are with him right now. There may have been quite a bit of an emotional attachment there for you and for him as well, but he is not consistent, and right now that could be just because he's uncertain what he really wants to do. So he's kind of, I guess the word I would use is waffling. Not saying yes, not saying no, not committing. Still open though, because he has you, and he may change his mind and not want to lose you, so he's not dramatically making a change. He's only temporarily setting it aside, which he may not even realize how that hurts you, how that confuses you. It's inconsistent, like I say, and that might be the kind of individual he is. So I'm not so sure that I would put all my effort into him right now. I think for you, since you do have some plans going on here and some good possibilities from what I'm seeing, you may want to consider that he should not be a permanent fixture in your life, or probably will not be. And I don't see any reason why you can't have a future with someone else and have a family. It could be that it's been, or maybe you're feeling like it's getting late. I need to get a commitment. I need to find someone to connect with and maybe marry, that sort of thing. It's never late. It's never too late. It's actually better to wait until that one actually comes, and you'll know when it happens. This may not be the one. So my thoughts are, if you just set it aside yourself, if he is going to be inconsistent, you can just block him out for the time being. That'll give him a chance to think. Also, knowing that he can't just string you along, he'll have to make a decision. He may come to one, and then if that's how this works out, he'll either say, yes, I do want to commit, and then you make certain with him that it's a real commitment, or you don't want it. And then he may say, no, I'm just not sure, or no, maybe there's something else out there for me. And in your case, that's actually fortunate if he's going to be a fluctuating individual who could possibly hurt you. It may be better to take a different direction for you and to invest yourself in this future possible new career where you're doing a business venture with a relative. For you, that seems like such a positive path. The question that we had here about financial success and whether you should step into this venture, the Magician, which is a major arcana card, that's like the creativity and following through with your plans with confidence. It's like saying you can be a master at this. Since I see that it speaks so much of creativity, I'm assuming that this business that you're going to get into is going to be hands-on. You're going to be creating something. I'm trying to get a feel for what it is. Since you're definitely involved in things of healthiness and a holistic view of the body, I would say it might be something to do with nutrition or creating some kind of edible forms of food. And it's going to be something beautiful. It's going to be something really pretty because that's in your nature. Your creative nature is to take the time to make something look as good as you know it's going to be. And so I see that as very positive. For you, the Magician just basically speaks out, follow through with this with confidence. Don't be indecisive. I think you will be a very positive force if you join in this with your relative and go this new route, this new venture. And you could become a master of this new business, of this creative kind of new business. There's a lot of things involved in a new business. If it's something local and it's probably not related to your home foods, the foods of your nation. This is probably more of a business where it would be enjoyed by many. Something like, I don't want to say a restaurant, but it does have to do with food. Something creative with food, something, maybe a sweet shop, that sort of thing. I feel a sweetness, a candiness, a cake, something of that nature. Something where people come in and it's a treat, It's a treat visually and it's a treat as far as taste. I could be wrong. It could be a restaurant. It could be foods that are related to your international type foods. It could be, like Chinese foods, Filipino type foods, that sort of thing. But it feels more like something that's creative visually and that will attract local people here in the United States. It's kind of up in the air. I can't see it really clearly, but I do see that, and I feel like it's positive. Now the Judgment card, which talks about your success in this, your ability to succeed. Judgment, again, is another major arcana card. Although it says Confucius, it really is the Judgment card. So when you're stepping out, you decided to go into this, to join your relative, this is a renewal of things for you. It's kind of like a rebirth of plans. It's a totally different direction than what you actually went to school for, which feels more health related. So this is really something that's more close to your heart, to the things you like to do with your hands and the creative aspect that you have inside you. And so when I say that this is actually kind of a rebirth, I'm saying for you, it's like, okay, it's an improvement on what I can do. It's something that I would enjoy. It's like if you have work that you do, that you enjoy doing, it's no longer work, it's more pleasure. And that can be more successful for someone with a creative nature like you, because you'll always want to do better, you always want to create something new, you always want to be trying things. And in that case, that means that you could master it, as I spoke about earlier in the magician card. It's very clear that you could pursue this and make it more than what it starts as, because oftentimes in a business like a new business, you have to start small and work your way up. Now, I don't know how your relative is already into this, or it's something that is going to be new for you and they're bringing you into it. You will bring that creative spark to it that will make it more successful, and that success will come back to you. So both of these cards, being major arcana, are very, very positive about following that, about pursuing that. I want to talk a little bit before I go down here and talk about returning to your country. The Ace of Coins, which is what's top on your mind right now, because we've been talking about this new venture that you might go into. And coins is definitely a financial, money, material wealth kind of things. The Ace is like beginning of material comforts and gain. It's the initial card that says, once you start this, it's going to continue and it's going to grow. And that is on your mind right now, is whether or not, even though he is on your mind, this right here is almost more important, because for certain this could make a real difference in your life, a positive effect in your life, where he is something you're concerned about as far as the heart. You are concerned about this as far as your intellect and your enterprising feelings, your creative needs, and your desire to be successful. And you're a person who would work at this 12, 18 hours a day to make sure it was successful. That's how you are. You put in 100%. Once you decide you're going to go and do something, you go full force, do the best you can, and for you that'd be a very successful thing. So, I recommend definitely making that move, and do it in your mind and in your heart that you're going to put 110% into it, because you will make it successful. You will be a very beneficial and factor in this new business that you're going into, this venture, being more successful. That's probably why you were asked. Okay, you were asking about whether you'd be successful enough to return to your country and visit with your family. The Sun card reversed, another major arcana card. When it's reversed like that, it means to say some broken promises and possible success eludes you, but that is only if it's a break temporarily. This is so powerful over here that I would think that maybe there will be a downturn in the business, and that's just getting it started. But with effort and with patience, it will pay off. So I'm saying that this doesn't negate that you will be successful. It's just like saying, like any new business, there's sometimes a bump in the road while you're learning what you're doing, while you're perfecting what it is that you want to accomplish. And it takes time and effort. And you have that in you, so I would say definitely. The Six of Wands card, which we'd asked about whether you would be able to travel to your country from having this success in this new business direction that you're taking. Wands, of course, are like a growth card. They're the strength in you. They're, when you think of something, they're the direction that you want to take that has a positive outcome. And the sixth itself is like good news after struggles. It's, after you struggle and you plan, it's good news. It means You will find success. It's going to take some time. I don't think it's going to be probably within the year. If you get into this new venture, you may have to spend a little bit more than a year. And what I'm feeling is that you've already been here for quite a few years, so it seems to me like it would be around the 10th year that you are here that you actually return to your country. It also felt like maybe your family came and visited you some time ago. So this kind of feels like a reciprocal thing for you, that you really want to go back and say, you know, I thank you, I love you, you were so generous in my upbringing and you taught me so much, and I loved my home and I miss my home and my family and all the little, you know, extended family that goes along with that, because there's such a closeness, a bonding in your family. It's very heartwarming. So yes, I would say that you will make a trip. You're just going to have to take some time to do that. And here we'd asked about the new career, the Five of Cups. Again, it's another love card. Five of Cups is like, well, you know, there could be some sorrow and regret between now and when you return. Or there may be, you know, a downturn at your home. It might be a family illness or something of that nature. And so you, how do I want to say this? You want to make that trip. You really want to make that trip. I don't know if it's an elderly person or a young person. I can't see that. But the Five of Cups tells me that there is some sorrow and love and within your family that's going to occur in the next couple years. And so returning before then to visit would be a good thing for you. I'm not saying this is going to end up negatively like someone dying. I'm just going to say that it feels like you will wish you were there, but you will be glad that you did go when you could. That's what that tells me. So have no worries about this. It's something that's likely to be overcome, but you will want to go as soon as it's financially possible for you. And in the direction you're taking here, even if there is a bump along the way, it is going to be financially successful for you, and you will be able to return and visit your family and get to see them after quite some time. And what's going to be really positive for you is to go back home after all this time and see the changes that have occurred. You know, it's an area I don't think has a lot of changes, but you'll know right away. You'll notice it right away. I feel that, what changes have occurred, and it will be pleasant. It will be like, this is awesome. You know, I didn't even realize, I didn't even know that I missed this so much. So it'll be a good thing for you. So let's take a look at your outcome card. And the outcome is, if you travel along this path, if you hold off on this person, give him a chance to make a decision or show you what kind of a person he really is, whether he's worth your weight, whether he can commit. And if you go ahead and continue on with this business venture, which is top on your mind, and when you're financially successful and you do overcome whatever little lumps and deviations in your path while learning or growing the business, you will be able to return home. It'll be a happy thing, and you should do it if you can within the next 1.5 to 2 years at the most. Something will happen at home, but it's not a huge worry for you. You'll just regret that you can't be there, but I believe that it will be okay. So along that path, without changing, we have the Knight of Coins. And again, it's another financial card. And the Knight speaks of patient labor, you know, and being a reliable individual. So this is a good card. This just tells me that you're going to build upon your success and build upon it and build upon it. And who knows, maybe there's a possibility that you will recreate this business back home. or grow more of the business here in the United States. And I feel like wherever you're at right now, it's warm year round. It's there's a lot of people with money, and there's a lot of positive things. There are some negative things, but I mean, where you're at, I think the business that you're going into will be a positive move and find some success. So I hope that helps you, Pressy. I hope that encourages you to go ahead and move forward with this business venture and to make it one of your #1 priorities to get home for a visit when you can, and to know that you will be successful and that this business will positively grow because of your work involved, your efforts, and your positive nature and your creativity. So thank you.